Good evening, and welcome to Paranormal Gateway ParaTalk. I am Scott Watt, the host, and joining me as co-host is Mel McIntosh. We have a very special guest joining us tonight, Janice Oberding. Janice is an author, historian, true crime buff, paranormal enthusiast, and investigator, publishing more than 30 books on topics ranging from ghosts to true story, crime and history to the strange and unusual and mystery. She just finished the Big Book of Nevada Ghost Stories, adding to her Big Book of California Ghost Stories and Big Book of Oregon Ghost Stories. Tonight we'll talk with Janice about how she started her journey in writing and some of her paranormal experiences she had and some of her favorite locations she researched along the way. So without further ado, let's welcome Janice to the show. Hey, Janice.
Hi.
Hey, Scott. Hey, Mel.
So, just jump right in.
Okay.
All right.
Before you started, I said, I'm so glad you can't see my messy desk here.
Yeah, so
I got started.
we don't want to.
I worked in gaming for many years, and when I got out of gaming, I've written always little articles and things, but I'd never written a book. And then I started looking around. I've always been interested in the paranormal. There were no books about Nevada ghosts here, and I thought, well, and I love history, I could do it. So that's really how I got started. Is I wrote to Nevada, which is a very, very small book. And it was well received on the one hand and well received on the other. It was received well because it was the first and only one at the time. Not well received because it was my first book. It was a very small book. And I could have just, with the bad reviews, I guess I could have just walked away. But the more bad reviews, the more people said things like that the book, the more I wanted to write more and research more and discover more. So that's really how I got started.
That's a really cool way to take getting bad press.
Well, growing up, do you have anybody in your family that believed in this stuff or had stories to tell you that they had?
Yeah, it keeps it's what keeps me writing. Is there's always something new to discover in the paranormal. There's always some new place to discover that's haunted, like where you guys are. I mean, all over the country, there's always something new. I'm also in true crime, and I've written a few books on that. And sadly, there's always a crime.
Yeah,
That's what keeps me writing.
When you were starting to do your paranormal investigating, was there like an eye-opening experience you had that you realized that the possibility of life after ours?
Mm-hmm. I think your microphone might be cutting in, or mine. I couldn't.
Oh,
hear everything you said, Scott,
Oh.
but I think you asked me if I was a paranormal investigator.
Yes.
Yeah. While you've been investigating, have
Yeah.
there been an experience that was particularly enlightening in terms of believing in paranormal?
Always, there's always. I'm trying to think of one particular one. Okay, one really, well, not recently, but it's local. And with a dear friend of mine who's just recently passed on, we were in the Goldfield
sorry.
Hotel. And 4 of us in the whole hotel. And we were down in the basement. One of our friends was doing an experiment to see if you could move a little ball just by asking it to move, and that's the best of my ability to explain. It was that's it. And we walked over by the stairs and we heard people upstairs, and we were the only ones in the, and it sounded like a party. And I to my friend and said, there's people in here. And so the 4 of us went running up the stairs because there was 2 of us women, and we, oh my gosh, our purses. That's our first thought. They're going to take our purses. And we went running up those stairs, got up there. There was nobody in that hotel, nobody. But we heard it perfectly clear, like a party. You could hear glasses clinking, people laughing. And we're talking, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning in Goldfield. And, there's not many people, 400 people maybe in Goldfield. So the guys walked all around the perimeter. Probably there was nobody. It was the weirdest thing. But we all knew what we heard.
Well, that's an open experience. Wow. Yeah. When you went paranormal investigating, did you have any favorite tools you used?
You know what? I usually just go old school. I usually use like a camera, recorder, K2. But recently in May, I had some friends from the San Francisco Ghost Society came up to investigate in Virginia City with us, and they had an SLS camera, and I fell in love with that camera.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
fun.
amazed because we went to a little shop in the city. They found 3 stick figures. So when Zach came up, I asked him to go back and look and see, and he said, well, this may be like a portal. So that was kind of cool to see that tool. And then also the spirit box. I have another friend whose husband builds them, and I really want one because I had done something in October with one of those, and it was in a club it's a men's club is what it is. And one man asked, it's the Clampers. It's an old men's organization that takes care of history and preserves history. And one of the men asked, how can he join it? And the voice said, talk to us. So then I said, okay, how can I join? I was being a smart aleck because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to join. And the reply was a string of 4-letter words. So yeah, that was pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Yeah. Wow. We get that often too. I mean, we just had investigation this past weekend at a fire museum, and we get the F word a lot. So
That's what this one told me. That's what.
Yeah. In those certain terms. Right. So, when you're investigating, who are some of the more groups that you had privileged to work with? Any famous groups you worked with, or?
Famous groups? Well, I've done investigations with Zach Bagans on the camera. and off camera, both. I mean, we've done both.
Mhm.
And then Mark and Debbie Con done some investigations. We did the Myrtles plantation with them. That was pretty cool. The Washoe Club, yeah, with them. So yeah, there's two that off the top of my head. Oh, and
Mhm.
Taps, but that was on camera at Alcatraz. So yeah,
Right. So you work at Mark and
but
Debbie?
actually, I don't know if I would say, yeah, Mark and Debbie Constantino,
Yes, you know, yeah, yeah,
the EVP.
yeah. That's sad. What happened?
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Of the places you've
And I
been, do
wrote
you
a
have
true
like,
crime book about that too, Scott.
Oh, there. What's that called?
The book.
Or oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's called Demon Song. I'm
Okay.
sorry, Mel. What did you ask me?
oh, that's fine. It was totally unrelated. I was just saying, like, of the places that you have been so far, do you have a favorite location that you've been to?
Uh, well, I that qualify as a favorite yet. Usually, the one left is always my favorite, the newest one. But I was in Eureka here about a month ago, and they have tunnels there under building. Yeah, that the Chinese built in the 1800s, and I was pretty amazed at some of the evidence and stuff that people were getting at. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Um, when you're writing on any of your subjects, research is the key. Um, so, do you have any suggestions when doing your researching for anybody who wants to start writing books or get into writing?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, the best advice first I would be is if you seriously want to write a book is to just start. I mean, in my opinion, anybody who wants to could write a book. What you have to do is you because we've all our own views. We all have our own. Everybody's is as valid expert. There's many books on there's many books on California ghost, but everybody has their own take on it. So it doesn't this book is better than that book or her book, his book. So if somebody seriously wants to write it, the first write a book is to sit down and start doing it. And bless you.
Thanks.
And you do some research, of course, because if you're saying a fact, like say you say this happened in 1860, then you better make sure that it really did happen in 1860 and not 1859 or 1861, because there's some historian will nail you on it. So get your facts in order and just set some time aside and start doing it. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Anybody who wants to could write a book. It's no, magical. This person wrote a book. Well, everybody could write a book.
I think there's more involved for you when you start writing because there are no internet
Are
to
you
look
writing a
on.
book,
And
Scott?
I'm thinking about some of case files. So I got some stuff written down. Wow. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. Get more into it over the holidays. I think I'll have more time to. Yeah, that's all I'll ever write. I got other stuff for. I wrote poems already and that kind of stuff already too. So and songs. Yeah. So, because I'll go to of your big ghost story books, do you have, or could you pick a few out of your favorite ones, or ones that you think would be the most interesting? I mean, the whole books are interesting, but do you have any ones you can tell us about tonight?
Well, in my the big book of California ghost stories, I love California. California and Nevada, in my opinion, are kind of joined because they share a history back and forth. They're neighbors, of course, and the states are similar in many ways and totally different in other ways. But I spent, when I was a child, my family lived in Monterey, California, and so of course I developed a love of that area and the history, just as in Nevada. I think probably one of my favorites in California would be Monterey's Cannery Row, the ghost of John Steinbeck, the Steinbeck house, and his house in Salinas, where he was born and raised in this house, and they've converted it to a little restaurant now. And he didn't really believe in the paranormal, they say, yet when he moved into a house in Pacific Grove, he had an exorcist come and make sure, bless the house and make sure whatever that wasn't nice in there was gone. But I like that the John Steinbeck house because I always go there and hope I'll see his ghost. And the fact that he was born and he was raised in this house, to me, that's cool. Oregon's a really fascinating state. My daughter-in-law's from Oregon, and we would go there on our family vacations every Christmas time, and she taught us a lot about Oregon, but we just focused right on the coast. But it's beautiful state that doesn't have anything to do with the coast, and I would say some of their haunted wineries, to me, that's pretty interesting. Now Nevada, everything, I guess. I got to go to Virginia City and say Washoe Club, that you can just feel it when you go in there. But a lot of the places in Virginia City, I've had friends who wouldn't even go to, they say, no, I'm not going to Virginia City because they can sense all the the spirits and paranormal activity, and they won't go there because of that. So most every building you step into in Virginia City, if you're sensitive just a little bit, you're going to pick up there's a lot of ghosts. I believe it's probably Nevada's most haunted city, so that would be hands down my favorite. And the Washoe is very cool. The crew there upstairs where Zach and them got the full body apparition, and we have a lot of local investigators who spend a lot of time up there researching, and they're getting a lot of good evidence. And some of them even say that Debbie Constantino's the ghost is there. And
Wow.
then the Union Brewery, that's very active, and Gold Hill Hotel. So yeah, that favorite.
I want to go to Virginia.
But
When
I
did you
do
get
Gold
there
Hill
yet?
Hotel. I forgot the Gold. The Goldfield Hotel. I forgot. It's very active too. But now you used to be, you could go hunt in there more than you can now.
All right. I guess it got overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still get out at all paranormal investigating, or haven't you been out for a while?
Do I still investigate?
Yes.
Yes, I do. I do. Not so much now. Generally, I have a few friends that I do investigations with. It's I don't work in large groups unless, like, if I'm doing a class on investigating, then I might have a large group with me. But I prefer actually working with just a few friends and my husband. For me, I think that's better. I know how he works. He knows how I work. I have a few friends. I know how they work. And we kind of old school our way around because, and the equipment's interesting. But the truth of it is, if we're really not sure, and I really don't think we are sure what ghosts are, and know what it's going to give us evidence that we're looking at. So I kind of old school it around. If I feel like something's haunted or active, then I might want to use some tools or something that might, verify what I'm saying, because oftentimes anybody can say they feel anything, or I feel haunted. And if you can have a tool that go ahead and verify what you're saying, I think that's good. But yeah, we'll do.
Right. Now, we do the same thing. We go
But
old
it's
school.
different now. I mean, used to be you could go, we're talking 10 years ago, 15 years ago, a lot of places were more welcoming than they are today. I know that sounds weird, but we've had a glut of ghost shows on TV, and I love Zach Bagans' show, of course, The Ghost Adventures, and the 28 Days Haunted with Shane Pittman. So there's two. I really enjoy them. But we've had many ghost TV series, and I think that's kind of people who have places they want you to investigate. They often have preconceived what you're going to do when you get there and what you're going to find. And honestly, Scott, if you go into a place, say to a place on Monday and not find anything, but you might go back on Wednesday and find all sorts of stuff.
Mhm.
But if you happen to be going on a day when there's not a lot of activity, it's like they feel, oh, here's the activity, what's going on? So there's preconceived ideals now with a lot of the TV shows of what a ghost investigator does and what they're going to find and how they're going to work at it. Well, this person got touched, that person got grabbed. Well, why didn't you get grabbed? That type of. So it's every day ghost investigating. Every day the paranormal changes, and that's okay. It'd be boring if it stayed the same.
That's right. A lot more fun that way. And we like to go to investigation at places more than once. Because of that. So. Let's see, it's a little behind.
Okay, somebody asked, what kind of tools do you use?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, all right. First of all, I think I'm the best ghost investigation tool I
Mhm.
have, but I would like record camera, an SLS camera sometime, and K2 once in a while, and a spirit box if I'm lucky, and that's about it.
I think our misconception is when investigating that it has to be nighttime. I mean, daytime, I think you can get this much stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to pertain to nights only. We get a lot of stuff during daytime too. So.
I don't know. I've done both night investigations. You can see a ghost. I saw a ghost walking down C Street after daylight, broad daylight. So both things considered to be a little quieter. Now that wouldn't be like oftentimes in 7, but most places after night things get a little quieter into what you're hearing, what you're seeing. But yeah, I think
Right. They're kind of doing
the individual, right? And that's what, there's no set rules really. I mean, well, one set rule, you can't and should never, pretty obvious rule. You shouldn't trespass, but
right.
and you really shouldn't go investigating if you're drunk or high. But I mean, other than that,
Never done that.
basically,
No.
everybody has their own way of doing things, you know?
Not that way. Oh my. Yeah, so our question I have for you is that what is going to be your next big ghost story book? What state?
Okay, my next one is, well, I just finished it, is Nevada. A big book of Nevada ghost stories. And then I'm working on Murders, Mystery, and Mayhem, Reno and Northern Nevada. That's a true crime. And then I'm gonna one Amazing Nevada, which tells a lot of the interesting things about Nevada, places to see, and not necessarily the paranormal. And then I want to do one, and this is something else you asked about writing. This is a book I want to do. No publisher would probably do this book. They probably wouldn't. That's when I self-publish. If I want to do a book and a publisher says, no, they don't want it, it's too regional, this or that, well, I'll just self-publish it. And this is one about, it's sordid Virginia City, about some weird things happened in Virginia City, crimes and things like that, or things people may not know about Virginia City. I want to do that book next. But like I said, no publisher will probably, they won't want it because it's too regional. But then that's when you just go the old-fashioned self-publishing route and do it yourself.
Right. That's probably what I'm looking at.
Do you have any advice for people who are interested in publishing? Like, do you think there's like an easier way to get started, or like,
yes,
would you recommend one or the other?
Oh yeah, Mel, I do. I do, Mel. Yeah. One of the best ways, and I'm people, but actually with the design, they used to create space. I'm not sure what they call it now, but a person who wants to write their book can go right on Amazon. You can get a template, download it. You can work on your book in Word. And when you're done, you can upload it. And then you can design your cover. I have somebody design mine because I'm not really an artist, and mine, the ones that I've designed look pretty bad. So you can have somebody do that. You can get your ISBN number. Amazon's the best way for somebody, anybody wants to do a book. And like I said, I like Amazon. I use them for some myself published, but that's what I would tell anybody who wants to get started. And it means 20 years ago or so, it was like the kiss, oh my God, you're self-published. And I even, some years ago, I had somebody try and shame me. So, oh, she's self-published. Well, it doesn't hold anymore, because several of my books like 4 self-published, and I had a publisher come along and, will you rewrite this book for us so we can publish it? So it isn't the kiss of death. It doesn't mean anything anymore. You can self-publish, and if you're lucky, and if people love your book, you can do really well with it. So that I wouldn't worry. I have people say, oh, but I want a real publisher. Real publisher if you do your book. I mean, you are. Amazon's real. So that's my advice. Amazon.
And with self-publishing too, you're not gonna pay, to get published and stuff. You know what I mean? You can design your cover and go that route. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's a good way to do it too. It really is. I mean, it both ways. They both have their advantages. They both have. With self-publishing, you do all the work. I mean, you don't have somebody. You do it all. You set it up. You put the pictures if you want pictures. You have to have somebody edit it, and you're responsible. In regular publisher, they have all these people who are going to help you get your book out there. But yeah, that's what I say. If I've had books that the publishers don't want to touch it, okay, I'll just self-publish it myself. Works for me.
I think it's really cool to have both options available.
I mean, yeah. It is. We're very lucky, Mel. I think about that sometime. What about, say, 50, 60 years ago? If you wanted to self-publish, you were pretty well out of luck. And even if you wanted to publish with a regular one, you had to type it all out and print it all out and send it. Nowadays, you can start your book, and if you really want to sit at it and do it, you can have your book in a matter of months. So it's really remarkable for writers.
Yeah, and like with writing my stuff too. I like to do research and stuff. Like I have another book I'm working on, kind of a haunted house for a book on too, that I did research on. So I got that one going now. So.
Well, I got to tell you though, one problem I had, Scott. Now this is kind of funny, and I just don't know why I haven't got nailed for it yet, but one day I will. I decided I'm going to write murder mysteries, and those are really, to me, they're difficult to write because you have to have a puzzle in there some way. Who did they do it? Plus, you got to have a story. So I've written 4 of them, and they're not the best in the world. I mean, Agatha Christie stuff to raise up and worry about me. So 3rd one, the cover's beautiful. I had somebody do this cover for me, and it's beautiful. Excited, it's great. Okay, I load it all up, put it up for sale, and I order what they call. There's no damn page numbers anywhere in the book. No page numbers. God. So it's like, okay.
Oh no!
I don't know. I set it up. You set it up. You get a template.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can see the bad reviews now.
I have a publishing program on my computer I use, and automatic page numbers. So yeah. Absolutely. Well, and there are times too when there's more typos too they can't catch. Oh, that's funny.
But
Not
you learn.
really, but
I mean, that's it.
How many copies
It's a
are there?
learning experience.
How many copies were made?
Did you ask how many copies? How many topics?
Copies of the book I read.
How many copies?
Yes.
That's okay. It's a learning experience. you know. Um, I'm known for ghost, I guess, and that's the ones that do well. Uh, yeah, it's a learning experience, and we shouldn't, and right now it seems like everything's so mean. People are really mean to each other, and we're going to make mistakes, and we're going to screw up, like book with no page numbers and things, and we just got to laugh at ourselves and just say, okay, well, I'll learn better tomorrow or something. I'll do better. I mean, that's it. If we can't let us and take everything so seriously, I don't think we're going to be moving forward very well.
Nope.
Yeah.
uh, Janice, you teach classes, right?
Yeah. I teach, well, Ghost Time 101. That's a pretty interesting one. Used to be big class. Now I think not as many people because everybody watches it on TV, but Ghost Hunting 101. And then, of course, Virginia 6. These are last semester. And how to get your book published. Getting your book out there.
There you go.
There's because, like I told you, when I first started writing, it was a different time.
Yeah, that's what is that on your website too? Do you have videos on YouTube or that?
Oh, I have some shameful. No, I have some. Um, I haven't really. Um, I like YouTube. I like Twitter. I like them all. I'm not really good at Twitter. I don't get Twitter at all. I put something up there and nobody responds. It's like, okay, I don't know what it is, you guys. But yeah, I like YouTube. I like, right now I'm really fascinated by real, the little short videos. Those are, I enjoy doing those. But yeah, like I said, we live at a wonderful time right now because 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, we couldn't do the things we're doing today. It's really wonderful. I think to me, it's exciting times.
Yeah, I remember back starting off when I was doing research. You had in the library, you had the microfiche.
Yes. Yes. All those horrible things. I remember my husband and I one year were in Truckee, and I wanted a story, and so I knew that the information is at the Truckee, museum, whatever. So they'd show us. I go in there, and she takes us to, I swear, a little spot under the stairs with a little desk and the microfiche and the light. You couldn't even give us a flashlight so we can see. I never will forget that. It's like, what? And I'm only talking like maybe 15 years ago. It's like, wow. Now you can do it on, online. I do a lot of research online, on newspapers and stuff. Yeah, the mic was a real pain because I always had trouble threading it. And
Right.
but yeah, I've done it.
I burnt for you
I
too
remember
already.
I used to go down to the courthouse. Yeah, and they'd bring the papers, and one, it was a really violent crime, and she had pictures all sealed up, and she said, don't look at those. If you look at those pictures, you'll never be permitted to come back here and research. So I'm sitting in the courthouse office with all these office workers thinking, I want to see those pictures, but I know if I dare open up and looked, I wouldn't be getting to come. So I didn't see them.
Well, it's a wonder if they kept it in the same
But
file.
research is, to me, I love research. I said, I love research. I love research. It's like It's like a puzzle. It's like a mystery. Right now, I'm researching a woman who was a silent screen actress who was born in Virginia City. And I mean, I think how many people really care about this? She was in movies with Charlie Chaplin. And
wow.
I'm really, everything I found, I found more about her. So it's just fun to me to research and discover things like that.
Mhm.
So you could say like Christopher Columbus in 1492 and in 2022 and look and research and stuff that these people couldn't even dreamed of.
Yeah, we still go to the library.
Hi, Joe Campbell.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for more. How's Joe doing? Yeah, I know it's Joe.
Okay, that went so fast. I think he said, "Do I typically research? Oh, do you typically do it before you investigate?" Okay, Luna, it depends. The best is if I'm going to go something strictly for paranormal, like a puzzle or something. I don't like to do a lot of research except to make sure I know how to get there and get home again. That's basically it, because I have terrible sense of direction. But yeah, if somebody says like you go in blind, or so to speak, that's really, I think that's a great way actually, is to go in blind. Except, like I said, there's basic things you have to research. I know many years ago, my husband and I was doing a show here in Reno, a local show, and somebody called in and he had a brothel, which brothels are legal here in Nevada, and he wanted an investigation because the women at the brothel were getting scared. So other than knowing where the brothel is and the name of the brothel, and we're going to get to investigate, we didn't know much else. So we went there with us, and we got to interview the women. We took photos. There was no spirit boxes at the time. We did some recordings, and then I started, because they said, well, he's coming through our closet. Okay. But I thought, well, the way this building's set up, there's no way he could have been coming in from that direction. I started researching, and I found that when the building was 100 years old, when they initially started using it, the side they said this man was coming in was actually the front door. Since that time, they had relocated the front door and said, this is the front door now, this is the door now. I found out, and then I found that a man actually had come there in the 60s to rob the place. And he went in there and he thought he was holding everybody at, gunpoint. But one of the girls sneaked out and let the sheriff know. So when he came out of the side door with the money he had stolen, the cops tried to stop him. They opened fire and the cops, he was killed. So I'm thinking, okay, this explains who this person is. Now, Mark and Debbie got some EVP that said, walk with us and will you stay with us? And that's what they got there. They showed me a couple of, but yeah, I like to go in without knowing everything. If you know everything, okay, there's a woman in the corner over there smoking a corncob pipe, you're going to be looking for the woman in the corner smoking a corncob pipe. If you don't know that, you may see and say, hey, it's better, I think, to go in without knowing the full stories. And I know that's hard to do. Like when I went to Alcatraz, I spent the night at Alcatraz 3 times. And of course, we all know Alcatraz story. Mm-hmm. There's some things you can't avoid not knowing. But yeah, that's how I like to do it. But I mean, other people, whatever works.
Right. That's what we going blind. Like one place I went to for school, I did. I saw a video on it before we went because I was interested in what was going on there, but I didn't tell everybody else about it. So sort of like a little bit. I think we're lagging.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm sorry, my microphone's going in and out.
That's okay. So you said you've been to Alcatraz 3 times. Do you have like a favorite experience from when you were at Alcatraz?
Mhm. Yes, I do. I do. Of course. I was there with Mark and Debbie, and we were investigating the hospital. And Debbie was picking up that there was a doctor's ghost there who had hurt somebody during a surgery, and he felt guilty. I picked it up that he was an alcoholic and he felt guilty over it. So we all 3 of us had recorders. On my recorder, I got, this is Dr. Thomas, and I'm ready to travel. Now that's what I got, and I picked that. Well, I picked that up. This ghost is warning me he's traveling to my house. No, he's not.
Nope.
That was one of my favorite. Yeah, his cell and Birdman's cell. It's interesting because I believe even if you're psychic, you're a human being, and I think we all have feelings like we're in a place. I believe in that when we're in a place that's really haunted, got a lot of activity, a lot of energy. I believe we, as people, we can sense this. Now, some people who don't believe paranormal may say, "Oh, it gives me a headache," or "I don't feel good." But actually, I think it's like the paranormal ghosts, spirits, whatever you say, are trying to communicate with you, and you are avoiding and you are ignoring them, and this is what's giving you a headache. I do believe very strongly that we can sense that. That said, the feeling at Alcatraz was overwhelming in many ways. The sadness, I don't know if I would say negativity. I would say more like hopelessness and sadness was just overwhelming there. But it was a rainy night, and just to go outside and see how close San Francisco was, and to walk around there in the night and think about all the men who were here, what they must have thought here, and seeing that city so close. To me, that's the fun part.
It's different each location you go to too. I mean, sometimes you'll go to a place where everything just comes to you, and other places like nothing. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, you guys, one I was thinking about is I don't really believe that ghosts follow us home. And the reason I don't, I always say, and I kind of say this jokingly, but I also seriously mean it. Whenever I'm in investigation, and I always tell the ghost, they'll say, "Oh, you don't want a ghost following you home." I listen. If you follow me home, you're going to die of boredom. If you weren't already dead, you're going to die of boredom if you're following home, guy. That's what I tell you. And it works. But one time I was at Donner State Park, and you guys know the story of the Donners, right? They cannibalized the party up Sierra Nevadas, and they ran out of food. And well, we were there, and a friend and I was driving, and we were coming home, and I was being a jerk, and I said, well, I don't understand those Donners. There was a Burger King right over there. Why didn't they just go to Burger King? And man, as soon as I'm not in the back seat, I heard my voice saying, well, those Donners, I don't know why they just didn't go to the Burger King. I looked at her. I said, are you a ventriloquist? She said, no. I'm thinking, who said that? And okay, she said, don't worry. As soon as we get to your house, I'll take care of it. Okay, we got home, and she did some little ritual, and I never had another problem. But that is the first time that and last that ever happened to me. I don't know who or what it was, but it happened.
Well, if I ever have the ghost follow me home, I'm going to give him chores to do.
Yeah. If you're gonna follow me home, you gotta pay rent.
Pay rent.
Yeah, that's a good one. But a lot of people really are afraid of that. I mean, and it's good to be aware of these things, but I feel if you're so fearful and you go into negation, it's really not a good thing. I mean, it's good to they say protect yourself. Okay, that's all good, but you can't be so fearful, because if you're that fearful, you're not open to what you could learn or could see or could experience. So we got to make sure a lot of if somebody's in there that fearful, I don't want to invest in them, because you have to be open to a certain degree for the experience. You have to.
It's a bad analogy too, so.
So we've talked about some places that you have been. Is there anywhere that you really want to go?
Now you just call. Well, you know what I would like to do is I would like to do some Hollywood, some like there's the cemetery, is it Hollywood ever, that does they show movies in the summer, and then one of them they think it's Rudolph Valentino's, the mausoleum there, and they do talks on. I would love to do that. I would love to do the one, I think it's Cincinnati, that cemetery you guys have there with the statue with the glass eyes. I would like to do that. Yeah. Basically, that's two that comes to mind quickly.
Right. The one that's the statue of eyes is Spring Grove Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll get there, Mel. One of these weekends we'll go.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Nah. About 2 hours from me.
Yeah. And so convenient for Janice to pick two cemeteries so close together.
Yeah, we'll get to both of them.
Yeah.
Gotta wait till spring. Get a little warmer. Too cold now. So, do you have any conventions or book signings coming up? Oh, see, Sherry. Do you want to ask her, Mel?
Do you have any like conventions or book signings or other appearances that are coming up soon?
Well, not in the next few months, thank goodness. I was pretty busy in October, and it's kind of nice now just to kick back. maybe a couple of them Virginia City, but yeah, nothing that come mind. Everything's kind of, especially here. We got our first snow already. I mean, looks like maybe this year we're going to get a lot of snow. So everything kind of calmed down a little bit for the winter, and like that'll just give me more time to research and write. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I love doing that. So,
Except, yeah, maybe I'll on Facebook. I like doing the reels like I do. I mean, stuff like that's fun. But yeah.
well, you can get all your books on Amazon. You got 30 of them to get. I'm probably going to go and get a few of them after the show, or to get your big ghost books and check them out. But is your Nevada one released yet on Amazon?
Yep, and I'm always writing more too, Scott. Always adding to it. Yep.
Well, we're about on the hour. Do you have anything else you want to share with us? With a lot of things.
Yes.
Maybe it's my microphone. You want to ask her?
Yeah, so Scott just said we're almost out of time, but do you have anything else that you want to share? Anything else you want to, advertise that you've got working? I know we talked about some future books that you were working on, but anything else you want to plug?
Just I told you the books I'm working on, and book page I do. If guys are interested in Virginia City, that's the most, and things that are going on in Virginia City up there. That's the one I'm researching, the silent screen movie star. Yeah, just watching and writing and that kind of stuff. That's about all I can think of. Can't think of anything else. I made a great sweet potato pie last night, first time ever. So
that's some of my favorites.
So yeah, I was surprised. I've never tried to make one. I made pumpkin pie before, and my mom said, "Well, it's the same. It's easy. Just sweet potatoes." So I did, and pretty cool. And next week I'm going to try coconut cream pie for the first time. So wish me luck, because usually the cream pies usually turn out disaster. So we'll see. That's all. That's what I'm doing for the holiday.
Turn out like coconut milk in the end.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful having you on, like Janice. And after we read more of your books and the new one you have out, we'll get you back on again. Sometime maybe next spring. How does that sound?
Okay, that sounds like a good plan, you guys. That sounds good. Yeah. And maybe I'll find more ghosts to talk about between now and then.
Yeah. If you on there, we'll share some of our stuff in too.
We can get an update on that coconut cream pie.
Yeah. Well, if it turns out good, I'll post a picture on Facebook. If it turns out disaster, I won't do it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. No cheating and do Google Pics.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh, you bet.
Yeah,
It
this
was
was
our
lovely.
pleasure. It was our pleasure. Have a good evening, Janice. Bye bye. Just want to announce our next show come up. I will be in December, I think the 3rd. Before I show out here, it's Brandy and Lexi Goodall from Chasing Paranormal. The next guest, and there will be a break until January. So until then, happy haunting, everyone.